around back in the day with West End, huh?
You already know.
That's dope.
Hanging out there over there on T Street and Slice and all
Yeah,
that
hell yeah.
after we get off work. How y'all doing?
Good.
Welcome in.
Thank you.
Welcome to the art show. Down here at Tri-City Tattoos in East Point, Atlanta. We're here for my cousin Tyrone. They call him Red the Tattoo Man. First off, they call that boy Red the Tattoo Man. We're gonna start off with that, but we down here to support my cousin. His birthday earlier this week, 6'10". We're here to support him. Hey, look, it's the Race Art Show 2026, and we in the building. Check us out.
My name is Tyrone Cooley. Everybody calls me Red. This is the Race Art Show here in downtown East Point, celebrating motorsports, black people in motorsports. I'm a tattoo artist, and I got into tattooing in the military. Been in the military, being friends with people who were into tattooing and tattoo culture kind of got me into doing tattoos. I've been into art music my whole life, but being in the military kind of showed me, got me into tattooing, and this is kind of like a distillation of that entire journey of getting into tattooing, furthering my art, furthering my skills in art through tattooing. So a lot of the application of these pieces was using skills that I learned during tattooing. So yeah, man, I've just been into music and art my whole life. And for the last 30 plus years or so, I've been into racing. So this show is kind of like an amalgamation of two of the things that I love the most, and that's racing and being black. I love racing. I'm a big Formula One fan. Yesterday I was up at Road Atlanta supporting a brother in the GT4 series. So I participate in spectating motorsports. I love Formula One. And like I said, anytime I find a black driver that's in motorsports, I support him and I pay attention, because representation matters, you know what I'm saying? One thing about tattooing and how those two things link up is I never thought about doing tattoos till I saw a black person do it. And the first black person I met that did tattoos was a lady by the name of Jackie Gresham in New Orleans in the early 90s. So she showed me that this is something that we could do, thrive, and be at the top level of. And so I've always strived to improve the quality of tattooing as it pertains to black skin. She's someone that I saw that let me know that this is something that I could do, because up until that point, not that I wasn't getting tattoos and not that I didn't know about tattoos, but I had never considered that a black person could do tattoos, if that makes any sense. Because representation, the point I'm trying to make here is that representation matters. You don't think about a thing until you see somebody that looks like you doing it. That's why women in certain things is so important. That's why women in motorsports is so important, because no little girl is gonna think about racing unless she might not think about it until she sees someone that looks like her doing it. So the same thing. So when I got into racing, I started digging into the history and seeing that black people have been racing since the invention of the cars, right? We've been in this thing since the beginning, like everything in the United States, you know what I'm saying? So digging through that history, because when I love a thing, I get into a thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna find out all the gears and how things work, how things came to be. Same with tattooing, same with motorsports. A few years ago, some artist friends of mine in the community here were doing a play, comic book characters, and the play was that Professor X was Martin Luther King, and that Magneto was Malcolm X, and that there was a history between those two characters where they were friends first and adversaries second, or adversaries first and friends second, however you want to look at it. And I thought that was just a cool way to kind of, people call it race swapping, but if you know anything about Stan Lee, you know that was his impetus to create those characters during the civil rights movement in the '60s, and you know, Professor X being the professor, Martin Luther King went to Boston College, you know, was a very educated man. Not to say that Malcolm X wasn't, but he was more self-taught, right? And so I just thought it was a good way to kind of play on that theme, but using a different subject matter that nobody had ever used before. And it just so happened that because I love racing and I love Speed Racer, truth be told, Speed Racer as a cartoon when I was a kid got me into motorsports, got me into racing. To use those two iconic figures to kind of represent that same play on two adversarial characters. You know, Martin Luther King as Speed Racer. Speed Racer was the hero in the cartoon, in the animation, and Racer X was his arch nemesis, but also came and saved the day when things got bad for Speed. Speed the whole time did not know that Racer X was actually his brother, Rex, right? And that's why he wore this helmet with the X on the top. And I just thought it was a perfect fit for Malcolm X to kind of be Martin Luther King's secret unknown competitor and brother, right? And supporter, exactly. Because you know, as when they started out in the movement, they were adversaries. But towards the end of their lives, actually, they started to really see that they were really fighting for the same thing, just using different vehicles to get there, right? And I just thought the Mach 5 was perfect to represent to represent Martin Luther King, because there's a big ass M on the hood, number one, but also the M is maroon, right? And he went to Morehouse, right? That's the double M, right? And that's their colors. Morehouse colors are maroon, right? Hill climb, there's an actual race event called hill climb racing, right? There's the Pikes Peak hill climb, if you're familiar with that. But all over the world, there are events that are held between race car drivers where the point is to get from the bottom of the hill to the top. Whoever gets from the bottom of the hill to the top, the fastest, gets the trophy, gets the garland, gets to kiss the race queen. All we want as Black people in this country anyway is to be afforded the same starting line as everyone else. We want opportunities to the same resources. We want opportunities to the same capital, everything, to compete in this thing called capitalism. Because we know that given the same start line, we can end up in the same place, right? Or even possibly further ahead, finish, win, and help other people along the way. So also, racing is a team sport, right? There are a bunch of people that help a driver cross the finish line first. You don't see them, but they're there. So I thought this was a great correlation, because as civil rights leaders, even though they're the figureheads, they're the drivers of the movement, there's so, especially Black women, there's so much support from Black women in particular and everyone else to get them to be the drivers to push the movement forward. So I just thought it was a good way to illustrate that in motorsports iconography.
That's great. Now I'll take it back to a little bit more of a superficial level, at least with Speed Racer. Have you seen the live action Speed Racer?
I have, yes.
What did you think about that?
I like it. It's actually a deeper movie than people take it for. There's a lot more going on in that film than people see. I think when it first came out, I was expecting for it to kind of look and feel more like the cartoon, and that was a mistake. But on second viewing, there's a lot of emphasis on corporatocracy and capitalism that was really missed. And exactly. It's basically it's a critique on capitalism, and actually the whole construct of race is a critique on capitalism. This show is a critique on capitalism. Even though I'm using motorsports iconography, even though I'm using Black people and civil rights leaders, all of that is a critique on capitalism, because most people think that most things in this country, as far as it being fucked up and shitty, is because of class differences. And yes, that's a part of it. But Race is the integral part of it because we would not have a country if it wasn't built on capitalism. Right?
And off of worker exploitation.
Exactly. That's the class part.
Yeah.
There's always exploitation, but the first exploitation was because of race. That's why the entire global South is poor and the global North is rich, because this construct of race, this hierarchy based on skin tone, was created to exploit the global South. And this is why, even in motorsports, you don't have a lot of black champions. Because what does it take to take part in motorsports? It takes resources, it takes capital. And without capital, you can't compete. And in capitalism, without capital, you can't compete. All of the wealthy families, not all of them, but most of wealth is generational. Most people don't understand that. People like to believe in the idea of meritocracy, that if you work hard, if you believe in yourself, if you make all the right moves, if you do all the right things, in this country, you can get ahead. And that's not actually true. The bigger the head start you get, the more resources you have, the generational wealth that you're afforded allows you. The richest person in the world just became a trillionaire. The first trillionaire ever, who did the fucking Nazi salute not too far ago, did not get to be a trillionaire because he worked hard, because he had the chutzpah to fucking put the work in and get to that money. His fucking daddy owned a diamond mine. And when asked about South Africa and its problems and with race, he flatly denied that there was any such thing as apartheid in South Africa. It's like, come on, bro. So that's what I'm saying. It's in capital. You can't have capitalism in this country without racism. You can't address class issues in this country unless you address racism. You cannot separate the two things because they were created at the same time.
So what do you think, how can we, as humans, how do we break down these structures that have been placed for so long? How do we do that on an individual and a community level?
I'll put it to you this way. As it pertains to us as black people, it's not our job. We didn't create this hierarchy. The job is on white people because they created the hierarchy. But not only that, white people need to understand that being racist is not just a difference of opinion. It's a character flaw. Just like pedophilia is a character flaw. And if Exactly. So look how you got right now. There are people who are running this government who have been accused of horrible things and have not been put out of office. Why? Because other people, white people, think that that's just a difference of opinion. It's just a difference of opinion. It's not a character flaw. So in order for there to be any change, we need more people, white people specifically, to get in there and do the work. First of all, learn about American history that is not white. You ask the average white person the contributions of black people to this country, and all they will tell you is George Washington Carver, if they tell you that. Or rap music, right? They don't know anything, but it's because it's been hidden from them. If you have a K through 12 education in this country and that's all you have, you're gonna be racist, and if you're black, you're gonna hate yourself. It's as simple as that. It's that if that's all you know, all you have is this idea of American exceptionalism, that this is the greatest country in the history of the world, and anybody could come here and make it and be a fucking billionaire, and that billionaire is the where everybody should and want. There should be no such thing as billionaires. I will say this: China has it right. They have a lot of flaws, but they have it right. When they billionaires fuck up, they put them in jail. The government is over the billionaires. Here, the billionaires are over the government. You ask your average white person, I'll ask you, who created racism? You got to think about it. I'll tell you, white people. Bigotry, tribalism, jingoism has been around forever. People who look like you, people who you eat with, people who you commune with, those are the people you look out for. Family, tribes, right? Locale, community. That's normal. That's normal bigotry, right? Or you don't like these people from this side of the tracks. You don't like that. But when you oppress and don't like these people because of the color of their skin, that's a whole different thing. And that was clearly invented, and this is fact. I recommend a book by Nell Painter called The History of White Folks. I recommend it to anybody, go and read it. She goes through how white people othered each other, right? Germans thought that the British were a different race. Think about this. Tell me an Eastern European country that is colonized. So there's no Eastern European countries that have ever colonized any part of Africa, right? So this is what I'm saying. So there's a certain part of history where Eastern Europe was against Western Europe, right? Eastern Europeans were othered by Western Europeans, right? So that's what I mean, that the othering started amongst white people, right? So it was a normal thing to other another group of people, but then the term race was used. Like you could find literature where people like Germans refer to English people as another race. They refer to the French as another race. Oh, they certainly refer to the Italians and the Spanish as another race. So there's othering amongst Europeans. So when it came to the global South, easy done. Nothing but something to do. And easily demarked by the color of the skin. So racism, unfortunately, was created by white people. And it was a system of stratification that is used to this day to capitalize resources. And that's why 13-year-old kids are digging fucking cobalt out of the ground in the Congo right to this day to build iPhones.
Being said, Tyrone, I appreciate the conversation.
All right, George.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I appreciate the conversation. It was very insightful. Thank you for taking the time and making the space.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
Thank you, sir.